This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at BackupBradleyAbove and everything that we're talking about here today. Okay, so before we get started with the news, and we have a lot of news, and you're going to be really, I think, excited about the news that we finish off with, because there's a huge call for XRP to move beyond the price of Ethereum. Now, that's pretty exciting to me, and we will get into that. But before we do, we have a lot of information to go over, which is all pertinent to the fundamentals of potentially how such a move could take place. So before we do that, let's get into the numbers, guys. Unstoppable Domains. The numbers are brought to you by Unstoppable Domains. By the way, you guys have been sending me some great cryptos that you have bought for yourselves. I am really trying to work that out so I can help some of you guys. I can't get everybody, but I'm going to try to grab some of the bigger ones and throw them out there and see if we can't help you guys sell them. But make sure you guys list your domains on OpenSea, where you can host them. They'll host your domain for you while you try to sell it. So make sure you have it on there so I'll know how to direct people to it with a link so they can go right there. So, all right. So in the meantime, let's go ahead and get to the numbers. And by the way, I don't know if I told you, I think I said it the other day in a video, I bought PrivéJets.crypto because I know a lot of us out here are going to be flying private very soon. And if these people are right about the call for XRP price, I'll tell you what, that I'm going to be flying private always. So at any rate, let's do the numbers and see where we're at today, because that's what matters right now. $10,326.04 for Bitcoin. Ethereum is $371.25. Imagine that right now if XRP was more than $371 right now. That would be incredible. XRP price is 24 cents, unfortunately. Let's take and drill down on that number. Market cap is 11 billion plus. The 24-hour volume is up about 1.3% at 1.5 billion, and the total circulating supply is 45 billion. 11 million plus. Those are your numbers. Let's go ahead and get into the news. We start with the reminder of just what a mess we're in. Now we're looking at the United States domestic news here about the deficit and the printing of the money. The printing of the money has topped $6 trillion at this point. We know that they're going to go to 7 or beyond, and the deficit has topped $3 trillion for the first time, according to the monthly Treasury statement for August. Wow. Keeping that moving, we see the United States Postal Service. Shout out to Cryptopolis, co-host here on Fridays. And by the way, that was Michael Val 5 links. Thank you, my friend. And Cryptopolis shares this. It's blockchain voting system, verifiable, trustless, immutable. Come on in. You better believe it, Cryptopolis. This is exciting, and I wish we had this for Friday's show that we did. Guys, if you haven't seen the Friday show with Cryptopolis, I would go watch that and all of them. He is an amazing wealth of knowledge. It's no joke. All right, so here's a patent submitted by the U.S. Postal Service for secure blockchain voting system. Wouldn't that be something? Too early for this round of elections, but clearly could put one election issue to rest. No doubt about it, and I hope it is sooner rather than later. Let's keep an eye on that. But this goes to show just how wide and how impactful the innovation of blockchain and crypto is, and how profound it's going to be on every aspect of business and industry in our lives. No doubt about it. Everything. Okay. DJ Peter Bass, ISO 2022, preparing for new payment standard. Now, let's go into this a second, because when we go into this is the article, and it's Acuity, I guess is how you say it. ISO 2022, preparing for new payment standard, is open and freely available common standard language for payments messaging. It is developed to replace proliferation of disparate message formats that arose over the years in line with the growth of the internet, other technological advancements, and specific jurisdiction requirements. ISO 2022 offers a flexible infrastructure that facilitates information exchange and helps to harmonize the payments language between old and new technologies. By getting the financial community on the same page and speaking the same language, the new standard helps to eliminate the barriers that slow down global payments, add cost, and complicit compliance. So Acuity can help you adapt your financial crime screening and payment validation solutions in preparation for ISO 2022. Okay, now when we go into this, I found this. In full disclosure from Global Custodian back in 2016, September 27th, payment compliance group Acuity has integrated several legacy systems using software developed by blockchain firm Ripple, and then the transaction took. Now, when I click on that article, I could not find the actual statement that I just read to you. Okay, so I was like, okay, so I can't really verify that statement as 100% accurate. And I looked a couple other places and I wasn't able to find that. However, it wouldn't surprise me if that was the situation. Now, when I go into this from Acuity's site, what I find here is that Acuity is working with R3, basically, in a financial crime screening solution with Corda, R3's financial grade distributed ledger technology platform. So it's clear to me that basically Acuity is a screening, financial crime screening, and helping people connect their legacy systems to distributed ledger technology, albeit a RippleNet or an R3, right? So that's really what we see for a solution. I just wanted to make sure by verifying that it wasn't somebody trying to, and not that there would be a problem with any competition, because competition is good for industry, and I think it would accelerate growth. So I'm happy to see if there's other companies that could come out and compete with Ripple. That would be great. I think it would just push everything forward, even further and faster. But at any rate, nobody can compare to Ripple. That's the bottom line to that. And here it looks like this is just a front end for the older systems, the companies that have the older legacy systems, to be able to connect to the new infrastructure, albeit ISO 2022 and the distributed ledger technology, new financial payment rails. So that was encouraging to find that, and they were connected to R3 and a quarter. Here we see Federal Reserve Watch from DJ Peter Vass, Fed to implement new policy framework. Yeah, trying to deal with the impact of knowing that they've created inflation and then acting like, yeah, this is what we wanted, right? So, and it may swing into hyperinflation. They don't really know. That's the scary part. So while that's happening, let's take a look at this. So this is an overview letter from ABA to the Federal Reserve Bank, right? Interbank settlement and instant payments. And basically, this is just a call to action, like the comments that they send in, and encourage them, hey, everything you've been working on since 2013, please don't stop and let's get this done. That's basically what's happening here, right? So it just states that FedNow, we know real-time payments are actually in place, right? They're ready to go. So let's get it going, right? In some areas that need more clarification still is needed. This letter addresses the issue to ABA's members and have declared the most important in order to optimize payments, products, service available to depository institutions and their customers in general. ABA member encouraged faster payments, products to promote safety, interoperability, and speed to market. And that's really where we're at here, right? We're really just looking at the fact that this is that public kind of letter pursuant to getting it done and completing the full implementation. I thought it was interesting that on last Friday's show, co-host Cryptopolis explained to us that he spent 15 years in local government, and when they were going to, let's say, do a project in the town, you would always have a time when you would take public comments on that. But in disclosure, he was telling us that the process was already really done. The contractor was selected, the land was bought, everything was already priced out, and all of these things. And then they would take public comment at the end of that process. So obviously this is not public comment, but this is very similar where you have the people that were a part of the panel who are actually sending that letter of intent to keep going. Let's get this thing finished and move on. It's all on track. It's all done. I really feel like it's all built. It's a matter of the central banks getting their CBDC. Listen, it's a digital representation on a new digital ledger technology blockchain system. That's what we're talking about here. That system has been built. So the reality is, it's just like the Federal Reserve that printed $7 trillion. Jerome Powell talked about that. That's digitally done. That's not physically printed cash, right? They digitally print that. That's enter, right? Okay, what else do you need? And obviously I'm oversimplifying it, but the reality is that they could do this immediately. What this is really coming down to is the public-private relationships to get this done in an expedient fashion. And that's where I believe at some point we're going to find out just how deeply Ripple has been involved. We already know, if you've been in this space for any length of time, we've all been tracking it. We know the partners, we know the relationships, we know the connections, whether they be direct or indirect. I think not too long from now, all of this is about to be laid right out on the table for all of us. So let's keep going. So Philippines Central Bank preparing for new framework for digital banks. And all of this is a part of it right here. When I see this, I just see the encouraging motion forward, or the reveal of all the work that's been happening all along. And that to me is what I want to see. Because again, I just did a video yesterday where we talked about, how important central bank digital currencies are. Well, here we're just talking about the new framework, the digital plumbing, right? The new financial system. So all of it is encouraging, and no one has ever put out a post in a press release saying, you know what, we're not doing any of that, and we're going back to seashells for money. It's not happening. We're headed the right way. So, and here is an interesting thing, because we focus on the public-private relationship. And this is important because, we do need the private relationship to really, get that leapfrog moment, because private companies can give us the acceleration we need to be out in front of the pack and to be the leader in this space, no matter how far behind people may think that the U.S. is. The private relationship can bring us to the forefront in a second, in a flash. So when I look at this, I say, oh, well, this is a fine example of the private sector fighting with one another. And it comes down to antitrust laws and antitrust actions and antitrust behavior that could be addressed by anti-competitiveness laws or antitrust laws themselves. Brian Armstrong, the co-founder and CEO of Coinbase, has accused Ripple of engaging in behavior similar to Microsoft's antitrust moves in the 90s. And what this goes into, and I don't mind telling you, as someone who has developed an app and tried to get it, and I did get it on Apple Store, it is an enormous task to work with Apple and to get an app listed. I'm telling you, it is a climb of epic proportions. Brian Armstrong's talking about here that they are in the wake of other companies struggling with Apple's App Store restrictions, and it says detailing how Apple is preventing Coinbase from listing decentralized finance apps, decentralized apps within its own app. Many companies are reluctant to speak out about these topics for fear of retaliation, but I feel like we need to continue the dialogue in the open. We've tried discussing this through regular channels with Apple, and I reached out directly to leadership to request a dialogue, but we seem to be at a dead end. Here's the issue. Apple has told us we cannot add the following functionality into our iOS apps, and the ability to earn money using cryptocurrency, the ability to access decentralized financial apps. Why would Apple want to prevent people from earning money during a recession? They seem to not be okay with it if it uses cryptocurrency. I'm not sure why. This is what our Coinbase Earn product does. We sometimes end up in a bizarre negotiations with them, modifying the product and asking users to jump through hoops to do a task on mobile, then move their web to claim your reward to comply with their guidelines. This creates a worse experience for Apple and Coinbase customers. Well, I tell you, this is exactly like Apple. I know there's a lot of Apple lovers out there in the world. I hate to break it to you. They're a horrible company. Horrible company. And you know what? This goes to show you, to be honest with you, just what happens when these conglomerates get in place. These huge companies, and they feel no need to serve you. This really isn't much different than the size of YouTube and the way they let scammers pay them for ads and then stick them in front of everybody's channel. They don't care if you get ripped off. Right? Where here you have a cornering of the market. There's different reasons, but it's that we're too big to get to be told what to do. So we're just going to do it how we want to do it. And that to me is a problem. So I hope this gets resolved for Brian Armstrong. I hate seeing that corporate bullying to be able to corner a market like this, and I absolutely think something will get done, and I think it should be, and I certainly hope that it's in Coinbase's favor. So we'll keep an eye on that. Morgan Stanley Investment Management Chief Strategist, Head of Emerging Markets, recommends crypto as an alternative investment to stocks amid central banks' massive money printing. Cryptocurrency and gold should keep doing well while stocks struggle. Morgan Stanley putting a stamp on crypto. Now, how long's that going to go on before they're able to sell it to you? How long is Morgan Stanley going to tell you, yeah, the guy across the street is doing great, you should go get his stuff? We're not far, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what? People are really starting to feel it because, shout out to Michael Val 5 Links, XRP set to outperform Ethereum when Bitcoin reclaims this key level. People are starting to take notice. I'll say it again. Expect XRP to outperform Ethereum over the coming months. Has nothing to do with the fundamentals or my affinity towards either coin. Just the charts. Plain and simple. Wow. Let's take a look at it. Top crypto analyst and trader Credible Crypto believes XRP is in a position to outpace Ethereum once the next leg of the bull market resumes. Credible Crypto is sharing a chart with his 66,000 Twitter followers that he says depicts the bullish market structure of XRP ETH pair. People are starting to take notice. I'll say it again. He expects XRP to outperform Ethereum over the coming months. Has nothing to do with fundamentals or his affinity towards the coin, just the charts, plain and simple. And there is the chart right there that he's talking about. And this is the move that he's talking about in that channel between here and here. So that's pretty remarkable. I got to tell you, that is a hell of a statement. And I'll tell you something else, too, while we're talking about it. I've looked at my calendar, and it's wide open. Credible Crypto. So let's go ahead and make it happen. Let's send the email. Whatever we need to do. I've cleared my calendar. It's all done. All right, so I wanted to finish on a good note, a strong note. I tell you something, I remain bullish. I don't know about you, but at 24 cents, I've been buying little shallow bags, and I tell Mrs. Backup it's Mr. B XRP spot. If he had never suggested it, and Big Skinny, he's the other one, because I think it was Big Skinny and then Mr. B XRP. They're a bad influence on me. And I've been buying shallow bags ever since they brought it up. Now what am I supposed to do? Just keep going till they're not shallow bags anymore. That's what I say. All right, not financial advice, everybody. Just telling you what I'm doing. I remain bullish, and I'm having fun in this space. And I tell you what, I feel like we're so close with the regulatory agencies coming out, whether it's the OCC or even FSOC, Financial Stability Oversight Council. These are just some of the entities that I'm looking out for. We know the recommendation has come from not only this YouTuber, but the IMF, encouraging in a PDF file just a few weeks ago, to have FSOC deem RippleNet a systemically important financial market infrastructure. Now, how about that? That would be incredible as well. And if things like that happen, I don't mind telling you, I think Credible Crypto's got real strong chance of being right about his prediction on price. All right, that's going to do it for me, guys. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe, leave a comment below, and make sure you share this with somebody you know. This is Crypto. Head on a swivel. We'll catch you on the next one.